What if the place you once called home was hiding the truth about who you really are? She returned to her Thai village after 20 years. But nothing felt the same. Eyes watched her. Dreams turned into memories. And an old photo whispered secrets no one dared speak aloud. But just when she begins to uncover the truth about her mother's death, a strange man appears. He knows her name.
He knows her bloodline.
And he holds the key to a terrifying legacy she never chose. Puzzle piece: what happened that night in the forest? Drop of blood. Why did her mother flee in fear? Chains. And what is the price of remembering what was meant to be forgotten? Headphone if you want to know what happens next and witness the moment everything changes. Don't skip a second. This is not just a story, it's a secret finally breaking free. Sparkles if you love stories full of mystery, emotion, and ancient Thai legends.
Subscribe now.
Bell, turn on the bell icon. Speech balloon and comment below. Should she accept her destiny or run from it like her mother did? Under the lampu tree by the old canal, the sound of cicadas hadn't faded, even though morning had long passed. I stood, looking out over the rice fields, the scent of fresh earth and newly sprouted rice drifting in the breeze. Everything looked peaceful, but inside me, it never was. Today was the day I returned to my birthplace, after nearly 20 years away. No one knew who I truly was.
Not even Grandma.
She was much older now.
But she still recognized me.
Or was she only pretending not to? The stilted wooden house remained the same. Her sarong still hung on the bamboo rail. An old radio played a soft Lukthung song. "You coming back is a good thing," Grandma said in her raspy voice. "Since your mother died, no one ever returned." I smiled, but my heart cracked. Mother died from what? No one ever said. I didn't remember much, but the nightmares came back all my life. Blood on my mother's hands, a woman screaming in the dark, and then silence. The morning market was still lively. Vendors selling fried bananas, sticky rice with pork. But I walked past everyone. No one recognized me. Or maybe I didn't want anyone to. There was only one old man, sitting cross-legged in front of the temple. His eyes locked on me like he'd seen a ghost. "Whose child are you? You look familiar," he asked softly. I said my mother's name. His fingers froze briefly, but then he slowly nodded. "Your mother, she ran away from here," he whispered. Not because of love, but because of fear. My heart pounded. Grandma had never told me this. No one ever had. I walked back to the house. The way everyone looked at me, it started to make me uneasy. That first night in the house, the dream returned again. That woman crying, blood trickling from her forehead, and the hand of a small child. I jolted awake. The sound of temple prayers echoed from village speakers, but they brought me no comfort at all. The next morning, I asked Grandma directly, "How did my mother die?" She was silent.
"Still. Don't dig," she said.
"It will bring them back." "Bring who back, Grandma?" I asked firmly.
She didn't reply, just stood and went to cook rice.
That afternoon, I went to the old pavilion in the bamboo forest. It was where my mother used to take me when I was little. The wooden floor still creaked beneath me. There was a photograph, Mother and a man. The man's face had been torn away, but on the back of the photo, faint handwriting read, "If one day my child returns, don't trust too easily." The wood creaked again. I turned around. Someone was standing under the bamboo shadows along the path.
Silent. Still.
And staring at me, unblinking. I didn't move. The air felt heavier than before. The figure didn't step forward, just kept watching like they were waiting for something. Or someone. I gripped the old photo tighter, the edge digging into my palm. "Who are you?" My voice barely made a sound. But the figure didn't answer. A gust of wind blew through the bamboo. Dry leaves rustled like whispers. In that moment, the figure was gone. Vanished. Without a sound. I rushed down the creaking steps, eyes scanning the forest floor. But there were no footsteps. No broken twigs. Nothing. Back at the house, I confronted Grandma again. "I saw someone at the old pavilion," I said, breathless. They were watching me. She stopped stirring the pot. Didn't turn around. You shouldn't have gone there, she said softly. That place holds memories that don't rest easy. What really happened to Mom? My voice cracked. Why did she leave? Why did we never come back? Grandma sighed deeply. Her shoulders trembled. It wasn't her choice. Then silence again. That night, I searched the storage under the house. Old trunks, rusted tin boxes, dusty photo albums. And then a small wooden box, wrapped in faded red cloth. Inside, a gold necklace with a strange pendant and an envelope addressed in my mother's handwriting. I opened it with trembling fingers. My dearest child, it began. If you are reading this, then you have returned, and the truth can no longer stay buried. My hands shook as I read the rest. She wrote about a man named Pamilya, a respected monk in the village, who wasn't a monk at all. She wrote of rituals held deep in the forest, of villagers who turned a blind eye, and a secret that must never be passed on. She ended the letter with one line. They will come for you, if they know you carry the blood. I stared down at the pendant. It glowed faintly under the flickering lantern. Or maybe that was just my fear, tricking my eyes. A sudden knock at the door. 3 short taps. Then silence. Grandma didn't move. She sat, eyes wide with terror. They know you opened the box, she whispered. The knocking came again. This time louder. More urgent. I stood, my heart pounding louder than the sounds outside. And then, the back door creaked open. On its own. The wooden door swung slowly, its rusted hinges groaning like a warning. A cold wind slipped through the gap, and the lantern flickered violently. I took a step back, my eyes fixed on the darkness beyond the doorway. Stay here, Grandma said, grabbing my arm. But her hand was trembling. From the blackness outside came the sound of footsteps.
Soft, bare,
deliberate, like someone walking through wet soil. I clutched the pendant around my neck, its warmth pulsing against my skin. It felt alive, or awakened. The figure from the forest appeared again, emerging slowly into the light. A tall man, wrapped in a monk's saffron robe. But his face, it wasn't calm like a monk. It was sharp, hollow, eyes dark and deep like they held centuries. And they were staring straight at me. You've returned, he said. His voice wasn't loud, but it echoed across the wooden walls. Grandma dropped to her knees, mumbling something in Thai. Prayers I didn't recognize.
You wear it, he said again.
Just like she did. Who are you? I asked, my voice steadier than I expected. You already know. He stepped forward. The blood in you remembers. I backed away. My mother left this place to protect me. He smiled, cold, cruel. And yet you came back, just like she did before the end. I looked down at the pendant. It was burning now, hot against my skin. The symbols etched into the gold shimmered faintly, almost like they were moving. I don't want any part of this, I said. But it wants you. He whispered. The ritual was never finished. You are the final piece. Behind me, Grandma began to cry. You must run, she begged. I should have told you everything long ago, but I was afraid. Afraid they'd hear. The man's shadow stretched across the floor, even though the lantern barely lit the room now. He stepped forward again, reaching into his robe, and pulled out something wrapped in silk. He held it out to me. A gift, he said, from your father. My breath caught. My father's dead. That's what you were told, he said softly. But he lives, and he's been waiting. The silk cloth unfurled, revealing a small blade, the same one from my dream,
stained, old,
and etched with the same symbol on my pendant. The lantern flickered once more, then went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Only the sound of breathing remained, mine sharp and shaky, Grandma's shallow and fast, and his steady.
Calm, certain.
The blade gleamed faintly in the dark, as if lit by something unseen. I couldn't take my eyes off it. My hands trembled, But the pendant, it pulsed harder now, like it wanted to leap out of my chest. I don't want this, I whispered. But it's in you, he said gently. And what's in you cannot be undone. I heard the floor creak beneath me, but I didn't move. His voice dropped to a near whisper. Do you know why your mother died? My throat tightened. No. She refused the right, he said. She thought hiding you would be enough. But blood always calls home. Behind me, Grandma began to speak again, her voice quivering in old chants, ancient words like echoes from a forgotten century. The man's eyes narrowed. It's too late for that. No, Grandma whispered. She still has a choice. He raised the blade, not to strike, but to offer it. I stared at it, saw my reflection in the steel, but it wasn't my face. It was hers, my mother. Her eyes stared back at me, not in fear, but warning. You can finish what she could not, he said. You can free us all, or doom us again. The pendant burned hotter. I reached for it, and the moment my fingers touched the blade, a sound like rushing wind filled the room. The shadows on the walls twisted. Chants, cries, voices of the forgotten, echoed from the corners of the house. The room around me shifted. Wood became earth. Lanterns became torches. And I stood no longer in Grandma's house, but in a circle of stone, deep within the forest. The man was there. So was Grandma, but younger. And she was holding me, a child, in her arms. Everything frozen, like a memory I wasn't supposed to see. Then a voice, soft, inside me. My child, now you know. And I understood. This was never about a curse. It was never about fear. It was about a choice. One that had waited decades for me to make. The blade shimmered again, and all the voices fell silent. Except one. The one that sounded like my own. Choose. I looked down at the blade in my hand. It no longer felt cold or foreign. It felt familiar, like it had been waiting for me. Around me, the frozen vision began to dissolve. The stone circle faded, the torches dimmed, and the child in Grandma's arms, me, slowly vanished into mist. We were back in the old wooden house, lantern flickering softly. The man still stood before me, his eyes no longer cold, but tired, almost peaceful. You've seen it now, he said. The truth. The burden your mother carried. The burden you were born to inherit. I glanced at Grandma. Tears streamed silently down her cheeks. I'm sorry, she whispered. I wanted to protect you. But love alone couldn't hold back the past. I stepped toward the man. He didn't move, didn't flinch. The pendant around my neck had stopped glowing. Its heat faded, and in its place came something else. Clarity. I don't want power, I said quietly. I don't want revenge, but I won't run anymore. He looked into my eyes. Then you've already chosen. The blade in my hand shimmered one last time. I turned it, pressed its edge gently to the pendant, and cut the thin chain from my neck. The moment the pendant touched the floor, a gust of wind swept through the house. Not violent, but freeing. The shadows pulled back, retreating into corners they no longer ruled. The whispers stopped. The room exhaled. And the man, he smiled. You've done what your bloodline never could. He stepped back into the darkness. The past is no longer your prison. And just like that, he was gone. Grandma took my hand, soft and weathered, and pulled me into her arms. Outside, dawn had begun to bloom. Over the rice fields, the scent of morning jasmine drifted in. In that silence, I finally understood. My identity was never a secret to run from, but a truth to face, accept, and set free.